Testive is an online tool that combines people and technology to help students unlock their potential and increase their SAT and ACT scores. Based on a unique learning system and designed by 2 MIT Business School graduates, Testive individually prepares students for standardized tests, making learning easier, faster, and more fun. Founded in 2011, Testive has been used by more than 150,000 students around the globe. Available free of charge to any student with an internet connection, Testive has proven to increase SAT scores by an average of 150 points, and ACT scores by an average of 3 points. To tell us more, we've invited Tom Rose, Testive co-founder and a teacher since he was just 15 years old. Welcome to Urban Update, Tom. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Well, so let's start with the how and why you and your friend Miro began looking into this notion of unique learning.
Right. So I met my co-founder Miro at MIT, and we were both very passionate about education. At the time, I was practicing as a high-priced tutor, and I was charging $500 a session. And it started to occur to me that most of what I was doing in those sessions was fairly repetitive, and that 90% of that could really be offloaded to an intelligent piece of software. And the 10% of it that I was adding really unique value, that could be a really high value conversation to preserve. So we invented a man-machine hybrid system to help students learn faster that costs a little bit less.
Now, how do you describe your methods to people who might not quite get it, might understand it?
I mean, what makes Testive different is the software is built on top of a set of algorithms that were developed at MIT that dramatically improve learning speed. So for somebody that doesn't have necessarily as much time to spend doing test prep, this will help them get to their goal faster.
Okay. Take me through what a first-time learner goes through. First of all, you have to have a computer, correct?
Being a nerd, most of the things that I make come out on computer. Yeah, so you have to have a computer, and let's start with the number one thing that prevents people from learning. The single biggest thing that stops people from learning is they don't put in the time. They don't stick with it. And so the number one thing that can prevent that is a human teacher. Human teachers are fantastic at helping keep people on track. So we have all of our students who work with coaches, they meet one-on-one with a live human coach. They're also using a set of software at the same time that provides them with learning content. And there's a synergy between those two things. So we collect data on the student's performance, and we can feed it over to the coach so that the coach can deliver a great experience in a very short period of time.
Now, talk to me about this method of bringing the learning cycle down to 60 seconds. What do you mean by that, and how does that work?
This is a great thing that makes learning more engaging, more fun, and allows you to stick with it longer. And it allows you to learn a lot faster. And the learning cycle is something that everybody does all the time when you learn something. When you learn something, there's some kind of challenge that you cannot do. That's what the catalyst is for learning. So number one is the challenge. Number two is some kind of understanding. We call that reflection, where you realize, okay, I wasn't able to solve the challenge, and now I'm going to understand why I couldn't do that challenge. And the third, and really the most important part of learning, is the adaptation. You have to become a new person, a better version of yourself that can do something that the old you couldn't do. And that learning cycle happens all the time in everyday life. And what's critical now is if you want to learn something specific, so suppose you want to learn math, and you want to learn math really quickly, one of the keys to doing it really quickly is being able to take that 3-part cycle and go around that loop very, very quickly. And the faster you go around it, the faster you're able to grow and become a better version of yourself. So we shrink that cycle down into a 60-second loop. So we give you a challenge, we help you reflect on it, and then we give you an adaptation that you can make, and then we send you right back around.
Give me like a sort of, for instance.
Yeah, so for example, one of the things that is tested on the ACT is subject-verb agreement. So we might show students a sentence that says, Bill and Bob was going to the park. That sentence has an error in it. So if you're a student and you read that sentence and you cannot detect the error, you failed a challenge. Now that's a great learning moment. And so we show you what the error was in that sentence, which was the verb was, and point out to you how you could understand how a verb should be used. It needs to match the subject. So you can watch a video to learn that. And then we ask you to write in your own words a reflection and write that down. Now, while you write that down, you are adapting and becoming a new person who understands how subject and verb should match up. Then, once you have that skill mastered, we send you right back in and we give you another one. So now you get a sentence and it says, Sally and Jane was going to the park, and now you know it should be Sally and Jane were going to the park. And so we've completed that cycle.
And you get that down to 60 seconds.
Well, the kids these days, they're smarter than ever.
No, I understand you've been teaching in some capacity since you're 15 years old. Tell me about that.
Right, so I mean, I've had a pretty unique past. I've taught first grade, third grade, fifth grade, middle school, high school, young adults, grad students, senior citizens. And I love it. I love it all. I like helping people learn. I just think it's incredibly rewarding.
Gosh, 150,000 students around the world have used your
Well, I didn't
your
work with
method?
each one personally. Yes.
Okay, well, your program. I'm talking about your program.
Yes. We work with a tremendously large number of students. That's one of the advantages of being able to use software, is that you get scalability and leverage. So we've invented a new system that's dramatically better, and we can make that available to everyone.
Talk to me about, I guess, what type of students are we talking about here? Just sort of average students coming out of high school, or can students who are maybe even better students improve their scores even more? Or
one of the great things about our software is that it adapts to the person. So no matter what level of ability you're at, it will adjust to you, and it will only give you questions that are at the level of difficulty that meets you perfectly. And that's one of the things that's very important for keeping students engaged. If you give people questions or challenges that are too difficult, they become frustrated. If you give them challenges that are too easy, they become bored.
okay, now I think we've got a graphic of the website with a few photos there for anyone who might want more information. If anybody does want to find out about this, they should go where?
to testive.com. And Testive is spelled like festive, only with a T.
Okay, sounds like you got it down right there. Well, this is really amazing. For anybody out there, I guess, who's studying for those tests, those pesky little SAT tests and ACT tests, sounds like you're the place where they should go.
Yes, and good luck to you.
Okay, and good luck to you as well. Tom Rose, thanks for coming in. Well, even though the flu runs rampant this time of year, there are those of us who are convinced that we are invincible to the flu bug. We're going to talk more about that when we come back right here on Urban Update. Stay with us.